and co-organized by the International Federation of the Red Cross and Red Crescent movement. The United Nations has been a solid partner in the dissemination of the international humanitarian law, disaster operations, as well as in furthering the goals of the Philippine Red Cross and the millennium goals of our country. Our next speaker is from the United Nations, and I feel very honored to introduce her to you. She has been serving in her current post for 2 years as resident representative of the United Nations Development Program to the Philippines. So she's been with us since 2009. She led the delivery of $16.4 million worth of development assistance to the Philippines, allocated mainly to energy and environmental projects, crisis prevention and recovery projects, fostering domestic governance, poverty and HIV/AIDS reduction. Previously, she has served in the same capacity as UNDP resident representative to Papua New Guinea and Namibia, and as a UNICEF representative to Laos, Fiji, and Pacific Islands. Friends, please help me welcome our keynote speaker from the United Nations, the country representative to the Philippines, Ms. Dr. Jacqueline Badcock.
ICRC head of delegation, leaders of each chapter, and volunteers of the Philippine Red Cross teams, the voluntary sector in general, International Year of Volunteer plus 10 partners, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. That's the end of my travel. I am very pleased today to be part of the Philippine Red Cross 29th National Biennial Convention with the theme Red Cross 143 in the heart of every volunteer. We are celebrating the work of Red Cross volunteers in life-saving and developmental efforts here in the Philippines. And as you may know, or just also heard from Ms. Pang, this year is the 10th anniversary of the International Year of Volunteers, or IYV plus 10, which is dedicated to volunteering for MDGs, build hope, change lives, volunteer. We celebrated it 2 days ago, last Monday, December the 5th, both globally and here locally in the Philippines. The theme of the International Volunteer here in the Philippines was Volunteering Matters by Yan Matters. And you will agree that the Philippine Red Cross and the United Nations have very much in common in this respect. As defined by the United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, volunteerism is a feature of all cultures and societies. It is a fundamental source of community strength, resilience, solidarity, and social cohesion. It can help effect positive change by fostering inclusive societies that respect diversity, equality, and the participation of everybody. This year, the Asia-Pacific region has seen a terrible earthquake and tsunami in Japan, drought and tropical storms in China, floods in India and Pakistan, and the effects of typhoons in Vietnam, Laos People's Democratic Republic, Cambodia, Thailand, and not the least here in the Philippines. In many of these places, national societies of the Red Cross, working in collaboration with the International Federation of the Red Cross and the International Committee Nations resident coordinator and the humanitarian coordinator in the Philippines, I have enjoyed working closely with all, the Philippine Red Cross, the IFRC and the ICRC, in the context of the humanitarian country team which I lead. The humanitarian country team is the main forum for humanitarian coordination among international humanitarian agencies in the country. And the 3 Red Cross actors participate as observers to ensure that together our aid is delivered to where it is needed the most in times of crisis. The purpose of the humanitarian country team is to make sure there is a coordinated response from the international side so that the government can get on with delivering its support and the international community can come behind it in a very united and coordinated manner. In every disaster I have witnessed since coming to this beautiful country, it is the local Red Cross societies that have been at the front line of the response. Volunteers of both UN and Red Cross and Red Crescent movements are highly regarded by our members of the humanitarian country team, and we count on you for local knowledge, for rapid mobilization of volunteers and other resources, and the spirit of working together through volunteerism spirit practice here in the Philippines. Volunteerism is indeed the backbone of the work of the Philippine Red Cross, and is a crucial value that binds us as one community, united in purpose to save lives and restore and further empower livelihoods by our own hands.
You're the presiding officer
In the Philippines,
tomorrow at 2 p.m.
I
don't know if you have a role today, but I know for resource mobilization tomorrow, you're the presiding officer. Okay?
And many other words in many different dialects and expressions. This shows the unique feature of volunteerism in the country and reminds us that there are many different ways of showing this volunteerism in our lives and societies to make our world a better place to live. I look forward to hearing more stories and experiences from you as Red Cross volunteers, as I know they will inspire us all. And the United Nations looks forward to strengthening our collaboration with the Red Cross and Red Crescent movement and other partners on the ground to help the people most in need by helping people help each other, changing our lives for the better by our common commitment, mission, passion and compassion for the better world for all. Let me thank the Philippine Red Cross Volunteers team and the organisers of today's event, who are one of our most committed partners in this amazing country. I also believe that with the enactment of the Philippine Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Act of 2010 and the hard work contributed by volunteers, both men and women, and their great potential to do even more in their own communities, the Philippines is increasingly in a better position to deal with the effects of disasters and create a resilient and empowered society through full application of further gender-sensitive response and preparedness for future disasters by having the volunteers of this nation with more than 7,000 islands, all those volunteers in action. I'd like to close my remarks by sharing with you the speech of the International Volunteer Day 2011 given by the chairperson of the United Nations Development Group and the UNDP Administrator, Helen Clark. She gave this last Monday on December 5th on the occasion of the International Volunteer Day. I quote, "On this 10th anniversary of the International Year of Volunteers, we celebrate the work of volunteers worldwide and the contribution they make to the development and well-being of communities. Every day, volunteers make a difference to the environment, to peace, to meeting the development goals and much more. There are countless examples of volunteering having an incredible impact. In Nepal, nearly 50,000 female community health volunteers, supported by UNICEF, UNFPA, USAID and the Gates Foundation, have helped cut child mortality by 2/3 over the past 15 years. Japanese Red Cross volunteers played an indispensable role in dealing with the aftermath of the terrible earthquake and tsunami earlier this year. United Nations volunteers form a significant part of UN peacekeeping missions, making up around 1/3 of international civilian staff in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, South Sudan, Liberia, and elsewhere. A guiding principle of UN volunteers is that people closest to the problems are also often the people most able to contribute to the solutions. The first state of the world's volunteerism report was released last Monday and says that there is still plenty of room in development for volunteer and citizen action. If all 7 billion people in our world today were working together to find solutions to our shared problems, what a difference that could make. As the international community comes together at the climate change talks in Durban in December, or now, and at the UN Conference on Sustainable Development in Rio de Janeiro next June, I encourage ever more people to make a difference for sustainable development in their own communities through civil society participation and individual actions. I also encourage leaders to continue opening up space for their citizens to take part in the development of their communities and countries. On this 10th anniversary of the International Year of Volunteers, let's remember that on the path to a better future, volunteering can and does change our world for the better. That ends Helen Clark's speech. I would like to close by wishing you all a fruitful experience for your 2-day convention. And let's keep the spirit of biennial high as it contributes to shaping a better future for all Filipinos, with volunteerism as inspiration in action. Biennial hand really matters. But another night, American summer.
Thank you very much, Dr. Badcock. And thank you likewise to Mrs. Fox. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to call on the chairman of the Philippine Red Cross.